Welcome, dear friends, to the Taviren, a Wheel of Time podcast hosted by three gentlemen for whom the very wheel itself bends around. Without further ado, here are your hosts, Bill, Rob, and Rich.
And welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Taviren, a Wheel of Time podcast. You have come upon the greatest podcast in the history of podcasts. Well, we try and do what we can. I know. My name is Rob, and I am not running solo. I'm here with
Woohoo, Rich! I'm back.
Richard. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. I'm back.
You're back and better than ever, right?
I feel great. I don't know what has happened. I woke up from slumber.
We had the one magical chapter where we had three of us together. We had princesses climbing on trees. We had Queen's Court. We had all kinds of shenanigans. And, Bill and I have been kind of alternating, running solo. But we are now up to chapter 45, Rich. We are in the ways, and we are making our way through, and we are going to, as the chapter reads, what follows in shadow.
Yeah. I don't want to go in the shadows. No.
What was that?
I don't want to go in the shadows. That's crazy.
Only
talk.
the shadow knows.
Lame.
Lame. Oh, man. Oh, I'm glad to have someone to talk to.
I know, right? Well, and I just want to make sure the listeners know that I apologize. I have not been around a lot. I've had a lot of stuff going on personally with this with the other show, the relaunch. Things like that, and then Bill and Rob have stepped in and really done a fantastic job. I look forward to continue this. Did you know, Rob, that we are on episode 40-something of this show?
I know. That's so insane.
45?
We're almost done book one.
Yeah, holy crap.
And if this was like a 4-book series, that'd be like meaning something.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. It does not mean a thing.
We're done. We're not even 10% of the way through.
Like 4%.
But we're making progress.
And then the thing is, like after this, I've got to go do another podcast recording right after this show. It's like, holy crap, I don't have a personal life.
Hey, you're a popular guy. People want to talk to you.
Yeah, we'll see.
How's the training coming along?
It's going good. Although I've had to take a break for a couple days, like a week.
Okay.
I guess I have some strain on my back that's causing like inflammation on my back. So I've been going to a chiropractor. Okay. I've got an appointment tomorrow morning, just to make sure I'm all tip top in shape, because I'm old, and the more things I do to my body, the more it breaks down.
We haven't really delved into the whole age thing, but don't say you're old when you're talking to me.
I mean, I'm oldish.
That would just make me just plain old.
There you go. See, look, there's levels of the old.
Yes.
There's the ish and the old and holy crap old. So, no, you're not there.
Holy crap old is a couple weeks away for me, so let's be careful.
That's Bill's age. It's fine.
That's after the UK conversion. He's old as fuck.
Yeah, that's right. He's old. I miss him.
Good old Bill.
Yep.
Yeah. He mentioned he's got the boss man in town this week, so that's why he couldn't make it today.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's fine. That's fine. We'll let him slide. He does enough work. He's done a lot of behind the scenes stuff for us recently. So
with his billion other podcasts.
Yup.
Good times.
So we don't have any iTunes reviews as of this pod to speak of, but as always, whatever podcatching app you use, I think Apple's one of the only ones left that actually has review mechanisms with podcasting, but it only helps us trying to make the best podcast we can. So if you are an Apple podcast user, please rate and review the podcast and let us know how we're doing and what we can do to make things better.
That's right.
And that leads us into our Wheel of Time news. As I mentioned last week on the Counter Catch-Up pod, we are kind of in a lockdown. No real ironclad news is coming out. A lot of speculation, a lot of hype. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of trying to take the high road and not buy into any hype to speculate on right now.
I've seen some screenshots of the Amazon series on Twitter and stuff. I'm excited to see what they do with it.
I am too.
I'm a little nervous
Well, that's what I pitched. I pitched a hashtag and I posted it to Twitter just the other day. Faith in Rafe is what I said. Don't forget Rafe Judkins is as much a fanboy of this podcast as anybody on the Twitter of Time hashtag. The way I worded it, if you think something doesn't quite seem right, odds are Rafe thinks that as well. So I have faith in his abilities to do right by the fandom of this show.
Yep. And then you got to think too, you've got Brandon Sanderson out there. I think, didn't he poke his head around there a little bit?
He did. I think he proofed the first couple scripts too.
Yeah.
He approved them.
That's good. And then you've got you got family members of Robert Jordan. They've kind of poked around a little bit too. So they've got a lot of people around that have a vested interest in the series that are not going to make it so bad.
Correct.
That's why I have a little bit of faith in it. I feel like it's going to be okay. If they didn't have those people around and they just said, we're just going to make the Wheel of Time series, I'd be really nervous.
True. There is one aspect though that I will say I am nervous about. How everybody was freaking out that they hadn't cast Tom in. Oh God, did they cut Tom out? We don't have Tom. Blah, 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 blah. Well, we don't have a Bin and Elaine and an unnamed third female character who hasn't appeared yet in our read through. We don't know A, who are they going to be cast by, B, if they're going to be cast at all, and without more spoilers, I might have to cut this out. But
Careful.
I know a piece of the storyline may or may not be tweaked based on how these females are casted. Let's put it that way. Let's peel back the curtain. A couple solo pods ago, I went on a 10-minute spiel about this, and then I literally out loud said to myself, I just spoiled a whole bunch of crap. This will never see the light of day. And I had to cut out about 10-minute chunk of talking. Luckily, I cut myself. I caught myself. So
luckily, you didn't have me around here because that'd have been really sad.
Or Bill would have been just yelling and cursing at me.
Oh yeah.
God damn it, Rob! Shut up! God damn, shut up!
Yep.
But
you just got to call. You just have to. I started coining this phrase out to people. You just got to start calling Bill a bitch ass. Just shut your bitch ass mouth, Bill.
Shut your bitch ass mouth.
I just like saying that. I don't know why. It just rolls off the tongue.
Especially when you talk to Bill.
I know. It's awesome. Here we go. Here's the tangent.
We love you, Bill. At this time now, it's according to the outline here that Mr. Bill puts forward for us. It says here, a word from our sponsors. So, Rich, you're on.
I'm a sponsor? Holy crap. Let's hear words from me.
And now, words with Rich.
Ta-da. All right. See, look at that. We said it together. All right. Those were words from our sponsors, from me. Words from my heart to you.
Very eloquently spoken.
Yes, I missed this.
So, Rich, we are coming down the final turn of this book one. We are all the way now up to chapter 45. What follows in shadow? When Bill last did his pod, he was on 44. Rand and company had made their way into the ways. They went into some random guy's cellar to some random ancient wall and passed through into this infinite darkness with stone islands and bridges and just kind of not evil, but kind of dark and gloomy settings. And now they're making their ways, and that's where we kind of pick up the pace, pick up the chapter here. Yeah. So what are your thoughts? Since the last time we spoke, like I said, it was chapter 40. A lot's happened between then and now. So what are your thoughts in the last few chapters?
Well, okay, I'm going to throw this out there. I have a theory on something.
Oh, boy, I love your theories.
I know. My theory is pretty awesome. I thought about this the other day. What if, hear me out, what if Rand was still technically back at the farm in Emmons Field? He actually got a fever. He's having fever dreams. And this whole thing is him being delirious.
Oh, boy.
Sorry, that's just a weird tangent. Okay, so
when did he wake up? At that Memorial Light?
Yeah, at the very end of it, he wakes up and he's like, "Holy crap, where have I been?" And his dad wakes up.
Sleeping for 3 years.
Dad would say, "You've been asleep for like 20 minutes. What the hell?"
That's a whole quantum leap there for the entire 14 books worth of stuff that happened in 20-minute dream.
You're welcome, people. Anyways, so what I thought in the past with the chapter and everything, I went back and looked at it. Being all serious now, I can definitely see the transition into a more of a climactic scenes going forward, because you've got everybody finally back together.
Yep.
They're making their way from one spot to they're making their way from the ways to their final destination to get to where they can find the eye of the world. That's their goal. So I do like what Robert's done, getting it from, and I'll admit it, the very middle of the book was kind of dry. Now you've got a more uptick of conflict and things are happening. You see the whole group finally at the ways and traveling the way gates, going to Fal Dara. I had a burp there for a second. My chest.
Right.
Like, oh god.
I'll put the explicit tag on there for excessive belching.
Yep. So, they've had their chance. They're in the town. What town were they in underneath this barkeep's house? Camelin. So they were there. Recap from everybody. They made their way into this barkeep's basement. Broke in there. Loyal broke the lock, got in the basement, basically breaking in, and they need to get from there to the ways because they're being chased by Trollocs. Got them bitch ass Trollocs chasing them again, and then you've got was there anybody else chasing him too?
Well, it was first off, before anybody corrects us, I think Moiraine was the one who did the actual breaking and entering. Loyal just led them there.
Yes, Loyal knew where it was because he knows where all the way gates are.
Yeah, they're Ogier. They were for the Ogier, and he could sense where they were.
Yeah, so he knew. So Moiraine is committing breaking and entering.
Yeah. So they were kind of like on two levels. They were kind of screwed.
Yeah.
They couldn't stay in the city because Elaida Sedai would have found Rand and two other ta'veren and a blue sister. That's
correct.
That could not happen. Secondly, they couldn't leave the city because, as we found out, the dagger that Mat had was a honing beacon. So outside the city gates were just so much fades and Trollocs and all that there was no way they could make it out.
Yeah, because they were screwed either way. Because what Mat did, they were
screwed
bad. Because Mat, what he did was he took that dagger, made him sick. They were able to sustain the illnesses of the dagger. He got that thief thing going on, and he freaked out. So he's got the beacon from the Trollocs and everybody, and you got this crazy white lady from the Blue Aja wanting to kill Rand because he's special. Red Aja. I said blue. You said blue.
Blue is Moiraine.
Blue is Moiraine. Red Aja. Yeah, Red Aja is crazy as hell. And they're the ones that actually dumbify the false dragons, I think.
The red. Well, we were kind of getting a little bit ahead of ourselves.
Sorry,
but that's all right. I can tell you that Moiraine is of the blue and Elaida is of the red. And let's just say they have very
difference of
opposite views. Yes, they have very opposite views in the world, and more specifically, males who can channel.
Yeah, I must say they hate men.
You could say that.
Yeah, the Red Aja is definitely not about the man. It's okay. It's all right. No big deal.
Yeah. Yes.
So now we're here. They're in the ways.
So they're in the ways. And my first note here says, as they left off with chapter 44, they had come across a gap in the bridge, a jagged gap in the bridge that they were crossing, which was their first kind of roadblock. As we know, these islands and bridges appear to be suspended in thin air.
Which would freak my shit. Do
what?
That would freak my shit.
It'd freak their shit too.
Yeah.
And the falls seemed to go on endlessly. So it was like maybe a 4 or 5 foot jump, or I forget the exact distance in the gap in the bridge. No one was going to be like, screw that. We're not going to try and jump that, especially with the horse. The horse is, one horse doesn't make it.
Yeah, they can't risk that. I mean,
no.
I think they did have a thought of that, and like, nope, not going to happen.
Yeah, it's like, not that anybody was jumping. Rand peered over the edge as much as you can, and he just looked into absolute nothingness. There was no bottom in sight. then had to fall on Loyal.
I
Even
love
though he's in partial shock over the decay of the bridge and just how this was supposed to be a sign of peace and happiness and thanks from the male channelers, the evil from the taint has seeped into this place and has just become dark, dank, gloomy, and now decaying to the point where the bridges are collapsing on themselves. But he says he can still backtrack and find a way to get them to the oh my God, my words. Fal Dara gate. There we go. I could say it.
You can.
I know.
I believe you.
I did it. Oh, so they have to double back now, which is like, great. Well, it was bad enough they're going through all this doom and gloomy places, but now it's like, well, can't go that way. Let's turn around. And then after a while of them making backtracking and some Loyal homesickness, the party sets up camp for the night, or what they believe is the night. They have no concept of day or nighttime, but Lan, the beast that he is keeping an internal clock, and he's like, all right, camp here. We're going to camp here for now. Must be night somewhere, right?
Yeah, because he's that special.
Yeah. One thing, and I don't know, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I will bring awareness to Loyal and him talking about his studying Shanghai and that he gets homesick. That is something to note, that Loyal is homesick. That for a later book and a later theme with Loyal, this is probably the first time that he mentions that he's longing for his homeland. Let's put it that way.
Well, that's because he's been gone for so long, technically.
Well, so long in people years, but not in Ogier years.
Yeah, that's true.
he's like a young teen in Ogier years.
He's at Justin Bieber age.
Yep. So they're sitting around a campfire, trying to keep it to themselves, eating whatever rations they have. It's not a place that exudes a lot of exhilarating conversation, but literally just out of left field, Moiraine makes a random proclamation. She believes that Tom is not dead, for he is too important to the pattern. And I think I commented on a couple chapters ago to when Rand was reunited with everybody. They said, "Where's Tom?" Instead of just saying Tom is dead, the answer kind of got upgraded to, "I think Tom is dead," or "Tom may be dead." Because remember when he first came into the Queen's Blessing and met Basil Gill, and he explained like what Tom did and he's presumed dead and all that, Basil took that. He's like, "You don't know Tom as well as you think you do. That old coot might have found his way out of that situation."
Yeah, and he needed a body. He's like, "Until you bring me a body, I won't believe that."
Yep. And then Moiraine kind of compounds that thought, and then she says, "You know what? That old juggling fool's pretty important. I think he's still kicking somewhere."
Yep.
It's funny how she had a connection with Tom too, because the two of them didn't really have a lot of conversations at the time that they were together. But that's a little thing to kind of make a notation for. Moiraine believes Tom is not dead.
Yep, because she could feel him. Sorry, that got real dark there. Really, like porno style. She could feel him. Bam, chicken, wham. Sorry.
Anyway, I'm going to let that one just kind of float to the floor.
Yes, I missed this for sure.
Explicit rating, here we come.
Dude, you dropped the F-bomb a couple times already.
I did.
I don't want to hear that.
Or you know what I also said? Instead of the F-bomb, because in Wheel of Time, they say bloody ashes. You dropped the BA bomb.
That's true. Which is also stands for bitch asses.
Bitch asses. I was thinking bad attitude, BA Baracus, but hey, it's all cyclical, right?
That's right. That is right. Bill's gonna get so pissed.
No, you want us to piss Bill off?
What?
Paul Rudd.
Oh yeah, I love Paul Rudd.
Ant-Man's the greatest movie of all time.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Rudd made the MCU.
We'll go there, but yeah, we kind of did. All right, cool.
All right. That
was Paul
your
Rudd
tweet.
rant.
Yeah, our tweak Bill tangent has been fulfilled. Check that one off. All right.
Yes. Okay.
So we are still sitting around the campfire. And when you have a group of 16 to 18-year-old boys and they have nothing better to do, what happens? They talk about girls.
Oh, I was gonna say something different, but okay.
I'm glad I answered that before you did.
Yes, we're just gonna skip over it.
So all this leads into talking about Min, and Matt kind of thought it would be funny if he teased Rand about all the attention that she gave him. Matt was kind of he was tweaking Rand. He's like, hey, that Min, she was kind of pretty. I'm not sure about women wearing pants like that with short hair, but she had a pretty face. But she sure took a liking to you, huh, Rand?
By golly, she did.
Rand's attitude is like, shut up.
Yeah, he's probably gonna stab him.
Oh, I know. He grabbed his dagger from him and stabbed him with it himself.
That's right.
And of course, Egwene starts to perk up. Oh, really? She took a liking to you. Why would she like you, Rand? I mean, you're just Rand. What's so special about you? And Elaine, who's this Elaine too? And she starts to whip herself up into a little bit of a frenzy as per Matt was trying to do. And then love Perrin. Perrin jumps in. He's like, "What about Aram? You were dancing with him for 3 days or something like that."
Yeah.
And I was like,
I forgot about that guy.
Yeah. And then Egwene had to all stop full. She's like, "Oh, time for bed. I think I should go to bed now."
And then dancing with a hippie.
And then that's when Perrin gives Rand a little, "I got your back, buddy. It's good. I got you."
You know what? Out of all this whole thing, I'm surprised they just didn't pick Matt up and chuck him off the side. I mean, they could do it.
Yeah, I would just say,
and it'd just fall forever.
Watch that first step. It's a Lulu.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we've got past that. They're done ribbing Rand.
Rib me? What?
Yeah, rib you. No, they're done ribbing him because of the women. Because apparently Rand is such a ladies' man.
Yeah, he's a hottie. Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah, so they get everybody back up. They have breakfast. I guess Lan can sense when the sun rises, too. Sure.
Nothing is beyond the abilities of Alan Mandragoran.
Correct. So after they've done all that, Moiraine even asks Lan if she can ask him what he's feeling while they're in the ways. If there's somebody following.
Yes.
Now, is there somebody following them?
We don't know.
Ooh.
I know, but we don't know.
I know.
Okay, you know.
It's Kevin.
But I love the fact that it's like Lan says, yes, something's following us. And without even a thought, Matt just turns around and shoots an arrow off into the darkness behind him.
Like an idiot.
Like a complete idiot. Well, like something's going to go, ow, that hurt. It's like, I don't even know what. Just, there's someone behind us. Oh, no.
What if this? Shot the arrow. It goes out in the distance. And they don't hear anything. Flashes over to Kevin or Trolloc, who's got a damn arrow stuck in his foot, going, "Where the fuck that arrow come from?" He's crying.
How the hell did he? What the hell? Awesome. But it's just like that could be kind of a funny scene, like in the original Lord of the Rings, where Gandalf tells everybody to be quiet, and then Merry accidentally knocks over like the skeleton with the chains, and it's just like this big loud noise for a minute, and he's just standing there like, "Whoops, didn't mean to do that." Mm-hmm. This could be a kind of a cool thing where you hear someone's behind us. What? So,
yep.
I think that'd
be a good scene.
It'd be a good scene. Yep. All right. I'm going to turn. You're going to hear the turning of the page of my notes. So
yes. Okay. So you do that. So I think they even Moiraine even asked Lan, does he follow the Dark One? The only thing is he can't tell because of what's down there, like in the ways. The taint is so bad that he can't really tell if it's actually the person that serves the light or if it's the person that serves the Dark One. He doesn't know.
Something.
Just like, he could. I don't know. I'm not going to deal with it though.
They make their way up to the next guiding. Bill missed the perfect opportunity here because, the whole thing with these guidings is these like stone tablets that kind of tell you which way to go to which city you want to go to. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking of a "You Are Here" map. that you find in a mall or an airport.
Sure.
That's exactly where my brain went. And I'm thinking, this is the You Are Here map. So you are here. I want to go here. So you got left here, right here, this, that.
I'm sure that's
so.
What it is.
They come to the next guiding and they find it desecrated. They find it scratched and with just marks and just desecrated. Luckily, Loyal was able to pick out the bits that he needed to find the new path to Fal Dara. But Moiraine was able to look at this and see the desecration and immediately was able to put two and two together and realized, yep, Trollocs and Fades made their way into the Wade. Yep. And that solves the problem of how did so many get so far south so unnoticed.
Yep, so, that's true. That is a way to do that. The other thing too is, just like it was in Sheo Ghul? No, wait, where's the
Shadar Logoth.
Shadar Logoth. So they don't go in there. Trollocs don't go in there just willy-nilly. Right?
Sir.
It's the same thing actually for the Ways. They got to be pushed through all that.
And the Fades have to push them in, but then the question is, well, what's pushing the Fades? Right?
That's true.
Fades don't want to go in there either. Kevin's like, nah, and then something's behind Kevin whipping him into shape. Kind of dampens the mood now, because if Kevin's and Trollocs are now making their way through the Ways, then the borderlands serve no purpose theoretically, because they can now bypass the borderlands and come straight into Emond's Field or straight into Caemlyn or whatever. So this kind of adds another layer of complexity to the entire conflict.
Which is weird. I mean, why didn't they think about that? Did they believe that the Ways were dead? I mean, that nobody could
No, they believe that dark creatures of the Dark One really do not go in there, because the evil that has seeped into the Ways, I think they said, dates even Trollocs and Fades, and it's just an ancient evil that no one ever wants to mess with.
Yeah.
Now, Moiraine logically deduced that this was their only option, because they couldn't stay in Caemlyn and they couldn't leave through the gates of Caemlyn. So their only other option was this. It's either death, maybe death. So we'll take the maybe death option.
Yeah, they're stupid for believing that they couldn't go in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's never happened before. This is like a first-time event, so...
Yeah, first time for everything.
True. But this is true. So...
Just saying.
I know. And as they start to make their way past the desecrated guiding is when things start to get a little interesting.
Didn't they find a body down there?
Yeah, did I miss that part? Yes, they found Trollocs encased in stone.
Okay, that's what make sure. So it's been a while. Yeah. Those bodies have been there for a while.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. And I think they believed that it was that was my next note. That's right. That they believed that this was some sort of security system that the Waygates had, from when it was originally created, and that could be another reason why Trollocs and Fades never went in there, because there was this kind of ancient security system that sensed the evil and just jacked them up. Not even hunted, like wherever these guys were, they just got turned to stone. Just you're dead.
That's handy and kind of creepy, but
it is very creepy. The looks of the Trollocs as they're being turned to stone, the faces are just like, I can't even make, I don't even know how to make a face of someone who's been turned to stone, but
the horrifying,
can't be pretty.
The horrifying look is amazing.
Yes. And it was after this that Rand kind of comments to himself, it's nice to feel the wind on nice to feel the wind on the back of my neck, even if it is cold. Wait a second. And then he's, hey, Loyal, I thought you told me there was no wind here in the Ways.
There's not. Wait, what?
He kind of stops, looks back to Rand, sniffs the air, and it's like, no, there is no wind here. It's the Black Wind, or as they called it. And then
it's the Black Wind.
It's the Black Wind, but the other name, if I mispronounce, Machin Shin. Everyone,
yes.
Now it's time. Everyone, move your ass. Loyal cries out, and he's like, he's not excitable, but this is the entire reason he did not want to go this route.
Which is weird how the ways are a really big space.
Infinite as far as we know.
Okay. And the Black Wind was able to track them down with only being in there for like 2 days.
2 days, we believe. Time runs differently.
Correct, yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that in an infinite, well, seemingly infinite space, any kind of movement or any kind of life activity will get noticed sooner or later.
That's true.
And you got fresh meat so willingly entering his lair, he'll seek it out and do his dirty work. Now everything is just gone into hyperdrive, galloping straight through. Run. We have to quickly read these guidings. I think it's one of the they're galloping and they're at the second to last guiding, I think. And Maureen's like, Loyal, move it. Come on, let's go. And then Loyal's like, oh, this way, follow me. And then they just take off. And
it's like reading directions from your buddy who's like, take a left at the house that's red. What?
Or in the National Lampoon's Vacation when they get lost in Chicago and Chevy Chase is getting the directions from a guy who doesn't even live there. You remember that movie?
Oh, yeah. That was a good one.
It's a great movie, but follow down that road, turn left here and talk to some guy sitting in El Camino. That's my cousin. And he'll let you know which way to go. I'm not even from here. They take off and it's now the action is ramped up. Loyal quickly figures out the way to Fal Dara and everyone just hauls ass and they make it to the way gate.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when they get to the gate?
It doesn't freaking open because it was missing the damn leaf. It fell off.
There's no key.
Yeah,
now is the perfect time to panic.
Oh, yeah. And shoot an arrow off into the distance.
If he didn't do that already, he's definitely doing it now.
I would have. I probably would have cried a lot.
Jordan even says that Loyal howls like a howl of death.
Yes.
It's just when Maureen's like, the key's not here. Then everybody starts to, well, now we're screwed.
I'm going to die.
So I put my next note here says Moiraine mimics Qui-Gon Jinn from Star Wars.
Yes.
And she takes her staff and produces not the clean, crisp fire that she did earlier in the book, but a more warped, burping kind of fire to sear a hole into the stone. Similar to in the scene of episode 1 where Qui-Gon Jinn took his lightsaber and just stuck it in the door and carved out an opening.
Yes, I like that.
That's the picture I have.
Yeah, so I'm gonna make a door.
Yep, you gonna lock it up? Well, I'll make my own damn door.
Yep.
However, it is a slow process.
Yep. So it sucks.
Basically, she's doing this, and everybody's just waiting to die while it's happening because they just know something evil's coming, known as the Black Wind, and now they have to wait for this door to be made big enough to fit an Ogier. As the party slowly makes through the hole that Moiraine made, she fires more of that warped fire into the Black Wind, and Machin Shin does slow down and scream in agony. And when it does, Rand hears countless voices coming from the wind. And what the voices say frightens Rand even more than the actual Black Wind itself. They start to feel the wind a little bit, not like it has them, but he starts to sense that it's near, and he starts to hear voices. And the voices are just saying the most insane things that he can't even believe things are saying.
Predator 2 movie was the best?
Oh, that's not one of the best things I could ever hear, but we can go with that. I couldn't even think of anything.
The woman-led Ghostbuster was amazing. What else I got there?
You go ahead, alienate yourself some more.
Well, I mean, I don't think it was a good movie anyways. I'm just saying.
The DC universe is better than the MCU.
Batfleck was amazing. Christian Bale sucked. Jared Leto was the best Joker ever.
He was a good Joker, although I haven't seen the recent one. I haven't seen the recent one.
He wasn't even in it.
I'm talking about Suicide Squad.
He wasn't in it.
He was in Suicide Squad.
It was a body double.
Jared Leto?
Yes. It was not him. Anyways, we're getting way off topic. You need to look that up. Anyways.
I guess check my facts.
Those are some crazy things that the Black Wind said.
But it was mostly a lot about peel the skin, taste the flesh, drink the blood, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what the Joker would say.
or Bolton Ramsey too, because we got to make a Game of Thrones reference now.
Yeah,
I mean, it's funny because the things that the Black Wind say are essentially the family crest of the House of Ramsey.
Yes, murder the children.
So we get a dramatic last second, the way's open, everybody through. And of course, Moiraine has to be the last one out so she can seal the door back up, because God forbid we don't want that crap out into the real world.
No, that's just like, also, I got another thing you could have said.
Oh, yes.
The Phantom Menace was the best Star Wars movie ever.
Well, hey. Okay.
So, real quick, to our listeners and to our Twitter followers,
Final Fantasy 2 was the best. How about that one?
You shut your mouth. We should put it out there to our to our listeners here for the Ta'veren podcast. Tweet us at some of the most crazy things the Black Wind would say.
What would be the most obscure, worst thing that could possibly be said by Machin Shin?
Please keep it
Ta'veren pod.
Keep it clean and not so insane.
And don't forget to tweet all of your Paul Rudd praises to @Matunica, METUNNICA.
Oh my God! Please do that.
That would be best, because Paul Rudd tweets him himself.
Oh my God, I would die.
That would be the best. Oh, Paul Rudd, if you're a listener, please tweet Matunica. That would just be the best.
Yeah, screw the other thing I just said. Please just tweet random facts about Paul Rudd to Matunica, please.
Happy Paul Rudd Day.
Yes.
Every
day is Paul Rudd Day. Anyway, so they get out of the ways.
So we get out. Yeah, there's a line. They get out of the ways.
Yes, they get out of the ways.
So they do make it out on time. Moiraine cannot give an exact explanation of what the Machin Shin is. Expect to say that it might be from the War of Shadow. So as I said earlier, this could be an ancient evil before Dark Friends, and Trollocs and Bades. So the closest thing Moiraine could say is maybe it's from the War of the Shadow. She's not sure.
Or in other terms, it's fucked up wind. It's just crazy ass wind.
Yeah, crazy ass wind. Let's just go with that.
Bingo.
Party now finds themselves in the Borderlands and outside of Fal Dara, where the chapter ends.
Where they think they're safe.
Where they believe to be safe. So this will take us into Readings with Rob.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
I missed these.
And now, the Ta'veren present to you Readings with Rob.
Chapter 45. What follows in shadow. Later there was a distant wind, too, off in the black somewhere. He could not say in which direction. At first he thought it was his imagination, but with time he became sure. It'll be good to feel the wind again, even if it is cold. Suddenly he blinked. Loyal, didn't you say there isn't any wind in the ways? Loyal pulled his horse up just short of the next island and cocked his head to listen. Slowly his face paled, and he licked his lips. Machin Shin, he whispered hoarsely. The black wind. The light illume and protect us. It's the black wind. How many more bridges? Moiraine asked sharply. Loyal, how many more bridges? 2, I think 2. Quickly then, she said, trotting Aldeeb onto the island. Find it quickly! Loyal talked to himself or to anyone who was listening, while he read the gilding. They came out mad, screaming about Machin Shin. Light help us! Even those Aes Sedais could heal. He scanned the stone hastily and galloped toward the chosen bridge with a shouted, "This way!" This time Moiraine did not wait to check. She urged them on to a gallop, the bridge trembling beneath the horses, lanterns swinging widely overhead. Loyal ran his eyes over the next guiding and wheeled the big mount around like a racer almost before it had stopped. The sound of the wind became louder. Rand could hear it even over the pounding of the hooves on stone. Behind them, Anne gusting closer.
They did not bother with the last guiding. As soon as the light of the lanterns caught the white line running from it, they swung in that direction, still galloping. The island vanished behind, and there was only the pitted gray stone underfoot and the white line. Rand was breathing so hard he was no longer sure if he could hear the wind. Out of the darkness the gates appeared, vine-carved and standing alone in the black like a tiny piece of wall in the night. Moiraine leaned out of her saddle, reaching towards the carving, and suddenly pulled back. "The Avendasora leaf is not here," she said. "The key is gone." "Light!" Mat shouted. "Bloody light!" Loial threw his head back and gave a mournful cry, like the howling of dying. Egwene touched Rand's arm. Her lips trembled, but she only looked at him. He put his hand on top of hers, hoping he did not look more frightened than she did. He felt it, back toward the guiding. The wind howled. He almost thought he could hear voices in it, voices screaming vileness that, even half understood, brought bile up in his throat. Moiraine raised her staff, and flames lanced from the end of it. It was not the pure white flame that Rand remembered from Emond's Field, and the battle before Shadar Logoth. Sickly yellow streaked through the fire, and slow drifting flecks of black, like soot. A thin, acrid smoke drifted from the flame, setting Loial coughing and the horses dancing nervously. But Moiraine thrusted at the gates. The smoke rasped Rand's throat and burned his nose. Stone melted like butter, leaf and vine withering in the flame and vanishing. The Aes Sedai moved the fire as fast as she could, but cutting an opening big enough for everyone to get through was no quick task. To Rand, it seemed as if the line of melted stone crept along its arc at a snail's pace. His cloak stirred as if caught by the edge of a breeze, and his heart froze. "I can feel it," Mat said, his voice quivering. "Light! I can bloody feel it!" The flame winked out, and Moiraine lowered her staff. "Done!" she said. That was Readings with Rob. If there's a passage in an upcoming chapter you wish to have read on the podcast, simply tweet us at TavirenPod with your request.
And that was Reading with Rob. I think I took the very high action-packed scene where they made their way back into the real world from the ways. So we'll go from there. That's about all we have. Next chapter, we have Fall Dara. The party has made their way halfway across the world and find themselves ever so close to the Blight and finding life among the Borderlands. What do you think about this chapter, Rich? What are your thoughts? What are your overall thoughts?
Overall, it was a good chapter. You get to see some of the ways themselves and how vast they are to the story. I know Jordan does a great job with creating different worlds and lore that go into this series. I mean, there's a lot. We got our first taste of the ways. You get our taste of what's actually in the ways, because they talk about it off and on about why people don't use these things. Because honestly, if you think about it, it's a pretty bitchin' way to travel. It really would be. But you got,
if you don't mind a painful, horrible death from the bitchy ass wind.
Yeah, that's a bad thing. So I mean, I thought the way that he set it up of why people don't use these things, why the Ogier don't even go to it, and it also kind of closed that gap of the plot hole of how the Trollocs and everybody got down to Emond's Field without anybody knowing.
Correct.
So I thought that was a great way to kind of wrap that up into a bow.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. It was a good chapter, and we are now kind of in the area of the final, lack of a better term, final battle, or the climax of book one.
Yeah.
Because final battle means something else in this series, but for this first book, we're approaching this. We're where the climax is going to happen.
Yep.
We're right by where the eye is. We're right by where all the crunchy bits at the end happen.
I love what happens in this next chapter. We see some returning of old friends.
Can't wait for that.
I know, it's going to be crazy.
So, hey, Rich, we have like 97 million ways that people can reach out to us. Did you know that? Like,
how many?
Literally 97 million thousand.
Holy crap.
That's even a number.
That's nuts.
So I'm going through the list of things here Bill has for us to sign off. And First off, please rate and review our podcast. If you do listen on Apple, give us some love. If you don't like the Paul Rudd talk,
Nope.
want to dock us a star for it, go for it. We'll take that in consideration. Not really,
no.
but I'm just saying.
No. Hashtag Paul Rudd for life.
Hashtag Paul Rudd for
life.
A week.
Nope, life. I live by his ways.
We are on Twitter, Taviren Pod. As I mentioned, Betunica, Metunnica for Bill, and Rich is on Hail Blue 1569.
Yep. That's where I'm at.
Yeah,
so we also have a pretty busting community at our Discord channel. We'd like to hear from you guys. No excuses now. There is a lot of people that talk in there. I'm not as active in it. I mean, I try to be. I have the other podcasts I'm on as well that I try to search my times there. But definitely come check us out on Discord. Have a lot of communications.
There's a lot of things that, and as I mentioned the last podcast, Bill actually did a little bit of house cleaning. He's gotten rid of the Gaishan Ashaman naming mechanisms, and if you wanted to be a specific Aja, he can have you there as well.
But why would you want to do that?
I don't know. I also, as I teased last week, you need to check it out to at least see how Bill has me named in Discord, and the conversation that Bill and I had in the women's circle thread when I realized what he named me and how I now want to be called in that regard. Sorry to keep it so cryptic, but you need to check out the conversation because it's actually pretty funny. Rich, if you haven't done it already.
I'm doing it right now. What the hell did I miss?
If you go in the women's, there's a whole. Don't give it away to the listeners.
I'm not going to. It's going to be awesome. Hang on.
It not to toot my own horn, but it is so awesome.
Oh. Yeah, I'm going to have to challenge you.
No. You can't. Mm-hmm. You wear the white.
Oh,
no, just kidding.
I'll show you.
What else we got?
I don't know.
Well, we have two events going on. We have the Material Lockdown. Second annual Material Lockdown for a charity event to raise awareness for motor neuron disease, which unfortunately took Bill's mother from us a couple years ago. And long story short is you can play Final Fantasy VII, the OG version, with certain restrictions on your characters to make the gameplay more interesting.
Yeah, it's a little difficult.
Difficult.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, I can go on record because I can say this. I'm world's first to beat the game in Material Lockdown mode. Woohoo! World's first.
World's last.
No. My only claim to fame in this thing, besides this awesome podcast, is world's first at Material Lockdown.
All right. It comes on in 5 days, guys. 5 days.
Well, 5 days of the recording of this. It starts on March 3rd.
Yes. Sorry, my bad.
That's okay.
It should be happening now.
It should be. Bill has a Twitter bot set up, so as you play the game, you can shoot the Twitter bot your character, and it'll fire back what his or her role will be, and limit to what magic you want to use. I also want to notate that if you are not a gamer and do not play video games at all, but still want to help, you can go to materiallockdown.com and directly donate. 100% of all funds raised go directly to the Motor Neuron Disease Association.
Yep, and it's a big deal to Bill. It's very close to his heart.
Yes,
that charity that whole organization was very helpful to him and his family in his time of need. So it's something that we really like to make sure we do and show some support to that.
Yes, absolutely. I'm all for helping out there. Second event I wanted to mention is Podcasters Assemble Season 3. This season, for Season 3, they are going through the James Bond world, specifically the Daniel Craig movies, up until the release of the new movie. I think what's it called? No Time to Die?
I don't really care. I don't like James Bond series. But still go check it out.
Thanks for pitching it. But if you want to be part of that project, they are accepting audio submissions. If you go to probablywork.com, they will have a listing of the questions that you can answer. Simply just record yourself, say who you are, what you're with, and answer the questions that you want, and send in the audio, and they will clip it and edit together to have you be part of this project. Or, if you want to just listen to the pods as they come out, that's fine too. Season 1, they did
They did the Avengers.
MCU. Second season, they did Star Wars. And then this season now is Bond.
Yep.
So it's a good kind of community podcast project where different podcasts from all corners of the world get together for a fun cause.
I may not like the James Bond series, but these guys do a great job, guys.
They do a great job putting it together and getting everybody involved.
Yep.
What else do we got?
We have YouTube.
We have YouTube.
Yes, if you search Taviran on YouTube, subscribe and join the conversation, guys.
We almost have 80 subscribers. That just blows my mind. What? 80 YouTube subscribers. Can you believe that?
That's insane.
I know. Thanks to everybody. I mean, as I mentioned before, every time I see like one new listen or a new subscriber or anything, a comment or a review, I'm so humbled. I'm like, guys, this is just over, above, and beyond stuff. Thanks to everything. Hey, Rich.
What?
We have a Patreon. The Patreon is now live.
That's crazy.
Bill actually went out and then put some tiers on there, kind of spruced it up. Like I said, he's been burning the midnight oil behind the scenes for us.
Nice.
But we have a Patreon.
Love it.
Links will be in the show notes. And last but not least, we also have merchandise. Redbubble. Bill set up a Redbubble account. So if you wanted to walk around with a nice Taviran the Podcast hoodie or Taviran the Podcast coaster or mouse pad or sticker, go to Redbubble. Look Taviran up. We should be there.
Nice. I
know. Bill's been pimping us out beautifully. He's almost taking your job as pitch man. You could be the pitch man. He'll be our pimp.
I like that. That's a good thing. But you know what? I need a drink.
I need a drink too. I am going to ask Rand if he has any intentions with Min, because I may need to ask for her phone number.
I'm gonna ask for her phone number. Now you know what? You can have Min. I'll go after. I'll just sit in the corner. I'll be creepy.
I'm gonna go sit in the corner and just stare at women all day.
That's right. I'll be there with Perrin. We'll sulk together.
You and the Wolf Boy. All right.
That's right.
All right. You have a go on, man. Good. And have fun on your next recording. I'm gonna peace out.
See you guys.
All right. See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Now that our heroic trio have left the familiar confines of the two rivers, they find themselves being chased by all sorts of denizens of the Dark One. Our party has been scattered, and the boys separated from Mograine and Lan. Let us hope that luck, or some other force, can keep them safe. Bill? Billiam! Put that dagger down! You have no idea where in creation that's been. No, Rich. I don't have an extra cloak with me. Maybe if you didn't ride your horse straight into the Arenelle, you wouldn't have this problem, For crying out loud, Robert, I know that girl from Berlon said weird things to you, but you shouldn't let it get under your skin so much. What are you, 11? You all remind me of a younger version of myself. Why, back in Watch Hill, I would...
Good evening, 003. The following is for your ears only and is classified above top secret by Her Majesty's Secret Service. Less than 24 hours ago, our contact with the We Can Make This Work, probably, podcast network intercepted an encrypted audio message sent over social media regarding the upcoming season of Podcasters Assemble, a hype rewatch podcast covering the James Bond films leading up to Bond 25. According to our intel, Season 1 covered the Marvel Cinematic Universe, while Season 2 focused on the Star Wars Skywalker saga. For this season, the podcast network is looking to recruit field operatives from around the world to reminisce about the Daniel Craig Bond movies, Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Skyfall, and Spectre. and a countdown to the latest film in the franchise, No Time to Die. Your primary objective is to infiltrate Podcasters Assemble by recording and uploading your submissions at probablywork.com, utilizing a two-way communications device with a built-in microphone, the latest from QBranch. In addition, MI6 believes that the first episode is going to be an overview of the series as a whole, showcasing everyone's favorite and least favorite Bond movies, Bond actors, Bond villains, secret layers, cold opens, vehicles, and gadgets from the franchise's history, and more importantly, your background with these films. For a full mission report, go to probablywork.com. The first episode is scheduled for release on March 6th. We're all counting on you, 003.
This has been a presentation
of the We Can Make This Work
Probably Network.
Follow us on Twitter
@ProbablyWork for more of our questionable content.
Also, we have a website called probablywork.com.